My name's Barry Reitman. I'm the author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory. And I'd like to discuss the question of how do you keep your memory sharp? There's a lot of different answers to that, all kinds of converging ideas. But let me suggest first, general health and a decent sleep time. If you're not in good shape generally, your memory is going to feel that. Beyond that, I like to think in terms of the many tricks and tips that I convey in my books and other books convey that help you get around any unsharp memory problems you may have. A lot of people suggest exercise of the brain. Is it really valuable? I don't know. Although I think I'm a little bit sharper since I started doing crossword puzzles regularly. Think of it as exercise. Just like the heavy weights in a gym, if you do something a lot, you're going to develop brain muscle. I don't know. I'm not a medical doctor, but I think it might work. But I always refer back to the tricks, the mnemonic tricks that I use to remember things, to get around any problem there may be. My name's Barry Reitman. I'm the author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory. I'd like to talk to you about something that affects us a lot sometimes, and that's a schedule change in the morning. I first came upon this problem listening to a conversation at my local poker game. On either side of me were my friends Lee and his wife Lisa. And in the off time during the game, during the tournament, Lisa said, "I hope I go to the Bud Lake office tomorrow." And then she expounded upon that. Her main office is in Morristown, New Jersey. But once every couple of weeks, she has to go to the satellite office in the other direction from their home at Bud Lake, New Jersey. I said, "Lisa, where is your car parked at night? In the garage or out in front of the house?" And she kind of looked at me like I was crazy. But Lee, who had heard something about my system, said, "Listen to Barry, let's see where he takes this." And she said, "Well, I park in front of the house, right outside the front door." I said, "Okay, do you have a brass doorknob on the front door?" And now she knew I was crazy, and since Lee seemed to be agreeing with me, she knew that we were both nuts. But she had some patience, and we went on. I said, "Tomorrow morning, when you reach for that brass doorknob to go to your car, you're not going to be able to open the door. That brass doorknob won't be brass anymore. You know what it's going to be? It's going to be a flower bud, a soft, squishy flower bud. And when you try to turn it, you're going to feel it get all moist and wet and crushed and mushy. And you're going to remember it's a bud. Bud Lake is where you have to go. You won't have to drive to Morristown and then drive all the way back. That will remind you." That's how I handle schedule changes, particularly in the morning when we're rushing around. Just see a picture of something you have to reach for, the front doorknob, and change it into a picture that represents where you must go in the schedule change. My name's Barry Reitman. I'm the author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory. I'm going to discuss how to remember the planets by size. Let me tell you a little story. My friend Freddie, he's kind of a hip guy, you know, everything's, "Hey, my man, how you doing, my man?" And I'm, "Okay, how are you, my man?" And we go back and forth like that. And one day he said to me, "Hey, my man, I'm about to meet my girlfriend's parents for the first time." I said, "That's very good, Freddie." And he said, I'm worried. I'm worried for two reasons. She's told me about her father. He's a scientist. He knows things. He studies the planets. I don't know what to say. And I don't know what to say about my politics because, you know, some parents are kind of tricky. "My man, I'm worried, my man." And I said, "Here's the answer to both questions, my man. Just say you never even voted, my man. Just say you never even voted, my man. Just Jupiter, say Saturn, you Uranus, never Neptune, even Earth, voted Venus, my man, Mars, Mercury, and there are the planets in order of size." It works. I'm Barry Reitman, author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory. And I'm going to talk a little bit about how to remember where you put something, or what I usually refer to as, where did you put the car keys? Because everybody has that problem. Here's my suggestion. You come into the house and you drop them down someplace, maybe on the counter, maybe on the table, maybe on a smaller table in the hallway. What I'm going to suggest is that whenever you put down those things that you lose, don't put them directly on the counter. In your mind's eye, drop your keys into a glass of milk on the counter. Watch the milk splash. If it's going to be on the small table in the hallway, in your mind, picture a glass of milk on that table and plunk, splash all over the table. The bed table next to your bed. Wherever it happens to be, wherever you put something and you can't remember, you usually have the problem with it. Try that. Don't put it on the table. Don't put it on your desk. Don't put it on the counter. Put it, in your imagination, in a glass of milk. Plunk, splash. And when you're about to look for your car keys, don't ask yourself, where did I put my car keys? Where did I put my car keys? Just say, where did my car keys splash that milk? Oh yeah, on the small table in the hallway. You can't forget. My name's Barry Reitman, and I'm the author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory. And I'd like to ask you the age-old question. What did I come in this room for? Boy, we all do it. And as we get along in age, we do it some more. I'm going to answer that question now in a way that you will never forget. You will never have that problem again. Let's have a scenario. You're in the family room and you realize that, oh, your favorite TV show is going to come on, but you need your glasses to watch it. Where's your glasses? Well, they're in the kitchen. You go into the kitchen. On the way into the kitchen, you trip over one of the kids' toys. You get into the kitchen and you see that somebody left the refrigerator door open a little bit, and then you say, what did I come in this room for? So let's reverse it. We're going to make a little change. Whenever you're about to go into another room to get something, to do something, you're going to take that item and put it into, in the case of the kitchen, the microwave. Yeah, you can pick another appliance. I like the microwave. So, I'm in the family room, I'm sitting in the chair, my favorite television show is about to come on, I need my glasses, I do not get up. First, I picture myself opening the microwave door and seeing my glasses melted. That's it. I get up, I walk toward the kitchen, I trip on the kid's toy, I get into the kitchen, I see that the refrigerator door is ajar. Doesn't matter. Because everything associated with the kitchen for this exercise is the microwave, all I have to do, if I don't naturally remember what I went in the room for, is not to ask myself, why did I come in this room? I don't have to ask myself anything. I just have to look at the microwave and I'll see that same picture of my eyeglasses melted. Try that one. I'm Barry Reitman, author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory, and I'd like to discuss the question of how do you remember a name or a word that you're blanking on? It happens to all of us, doesn't it? There's two different answers. One is when you've used one of the many systems that you'll see in this video series, where you've pictured a name, where you've pictured Mary with a wedding band, Mary, a wedding band around her head. When you're using silly pictures like that, it's really easy, because what I say to people is, don't try to remember her name. If your natural memory has learned it, you won't have to try. You'll see her face and you'll know it's Mary. But if it's one of the first times after you've met her and you can't place it, the last thing you want to do is say, what's her name? What's her name? What you want to say is, what picture did I see? She has a big forehead. What did I see around? I saw a wedding band. Mary. Every Mary I see is going to be associated with a wedding band. So once I see a wedding band around her head, I know it's Mary. I've seen the picture. And then that picture, that system, will tell my natural memory what it is. Natural memory, system memory, they work together as a symbiosis, and one will inform the other. The next is more difficult, of course. If you haven't used a memory system, a mnemonic system of some sort, and maybe you've just heard the name. So, of course, as a memory person, I'll say try to use it all the time. But if you haven't, all I can suggest is, if it's getting to you, back off. Think of something else. Some experts actually say, make a fist with your left hand if you're blanking on a name or a word. And there's a lot of theory about the left hand is connected to the right part of the brain, and I personally don't know if those theories are valid, but I do believe that the idea of, in this case, making a fist with one hand might pull you back from that question of what's her name, and might help your natural memory relax, and when it's relaxed, you'll do a better job. My name's Barry Reitman. I'm the author of Secrets, Tips, and Tricks of a Powerful Memory, and I'd like to discuss the question, why can't I remember what I study? I will suggest to you that you can't remember what you study because no one's ever taught you the right way to remember things. There is a right way and a wrong way, and one hint is just repeating something over and over or reading the same thing over and over is not the right way. As you go through the rest of the videos in this series, think about how it might apply to the things that you want to study. But just sitting down with a book and forcing you to read over and over and over is not really studying at all. It's not productive time. So why can't you study? Simply because no one's ever shown you how before. Go through the techniques in this video series and you will see an instant increase in the productivity from your study time. Bottom line, less time devoted to study higher grades in school.